Many players who remember this would have loved to bring this back. They would love for this to come back. It was when this area was the checkpoint, and it was very abusable. And what do I mean by abusable? Well, I will show you. Let's say you ended up dying, for whatever reason. You could respawn, and spawn here, and you can do it as many times as you like, because it would not take 3 deaths before going back to the last checkpoint, assuming you didn't come back to this one. So you could effectively lure any super to a checkpoint, especially this one, and just kill them with a ram build. Yes, this was the way to play during supers, at least in Ocean, for a while. I believe this was also when super monsters, or monsters in general, didn't regenerate its health after 30 seconds. Now, considering the current state of super fights, you might think this is the better option. Maybe. But keep in mind, this was at a time when a lot of the players were much weaker. And you know for a fact that the majority of players would have farmed desert, because it's the easiest way to obtain the likes of Ultra Cutter, or Garden, or even Jungle for soil. Starfish in Ocean was a very common one, and this was also when Ocean monsters had a lot more health. In an era of the game that used the exact same build, or almost the exact same build, for every single player, regardless of the rarity, I will say that I am glad that this is no longer a thing. You can still use ram builds, but it's not this powerful. At this point it was just a who gets the kill message game. That's what super hunts were, and it still kind of is, but at least it's not so obvious. You tell me in a 15 times time lapse of this, that this is the much better way to play. Do you really think this was the much better way to play? Having every single player use these kind of builds, at least in Ocean? I don't think so. Like, you can say what you want about the current situation of super monsters, and how strong many of us are now, but I think even you can agree that this was not the way forward. As for the checkpoint itself, it did get changed in Ocean. To prevent this, instead of spawning at the little tight corridors, you spawn in the jellyfish stone, which theoretically could still have been abused, but it's not because it's in an open area, although that would have made it a lot harder to abuse. It's because now, if you die 3 times without going back to the last checkpoint, you respawn at a previous checkpoint in a much weaker area, and it's for the better. So no more of everyone using ram builds for supers, thank goodness, although it is still possible. You just need to use it properly.